What's going on, guys? Welcome to Inside the Horseshoe. My name is Matt, and today I figured since we're halfway through the season, we would look back at what the Colts have done so far this year, and I would also explain what I would like to see the Colts do in the second half of the season, especially with some of the teams they're going to be playing in the second half of the season. But before I do that, if you're new or if you haven't already, I would greatly appreciate if you would click that subscribe button. Also, click the bell icon. That way, you're notified whenever we upload a video or go live. If you like the video, smack the like button. Let me know your thoughts down below, as well as what you would like to see the Colts do in the second half of the season. Also, if you have a Twitter account, click the link in the description down below. That will take you to my Twitter. So if you want to follow me there, that's where my Twitter is. Now, let's get into the video. So, I want to talk about the things I've noticed so far about this team. There are things I like, and there are some things that can definitely be improved. And we'll get into that as the video progresses. Let's start off with the offense, though. The offense, especially these last 4 weeks, has really been clicking. Everything's been working, everything seems to fit really, really well. Everything just works. The fact that they're able to score 30 points in 4 straight games, which has not happened since 2010 when Peyton Manning was in town, that makes me really confident when we play against teams like Buffalo and Tampa Bay because they're going to score a lot unless our defense gets a lot better. They're going to score a lot because those are high powered offenses. So, what we're going to have to do is keep up with them. And the fact that we're scoring 30 points in each of the last 4 games, including against the Titans, and the Titans have been doing really, really good against some really good offenses. The fact that we're able to still score over 30 points against them, 31 to be exact, makes me really confident heading into that second half of the season. It makes me feel like we have a really good chance to make the playoffs because of how that offense is performing. So, very happy about that. That's something I've noticed and I had to talk about right away. Also, Carson Wentz, besides in the recent Titans game, has been playing really good football. He's looked really good, made a lot of really good decisions. Are there some decisions that aren't that good that Carson Wentz has made? Absolutely. But really, that's very few and far between compared to all the good things he's doing for this team. He's looked really, really good. In fact, in the Rams game alone, he kept us in that game. And if he would have stayed healthy, I think there's a really good chance we win that game against the Rams. I think there's a great chance that we end up winning that game. But didn't happen at all. It is what it is. That is the past. You got to look to the future. But Carson, though, I mean, he's playing really good football, and he's a big factor into why the offense is working as well as it has. If you put in a different quarterback, you're not guaranteed this offense to do as good as it has been unless you put like Patrick Mahomes in or Aaron Rodgers and somebody like that. If you put them in, okay, the offense is going to do very similar things. But if you put in a quarterback that isn't as good as Wentz, I don't really think this offense does as well as what we would want it to do. And it's been doing really well. And a big reason why it's been doing well is because of Carson Wentz playing really good football. I mean, he's close to top 10, I would say. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback yet. Maybe that changes in the second half. But I think he's a top 12 to maybe 14 at the absolute worst. He's been playing really good football. Numbers are really good. He's made a lot of the right decisions. Those losses at first were not on him. There's other factors that played into that. But Carson Wentz has showed he can play against really good teams and do really good things. Look at that Ravens game, for example. He did really good. So, for me personally, I think Carson Wentz has played really good football, and I think it's going to continue if I had to guess. Now, let's talk about the offensive line because in the beginning of the year, it was terrible. Honestly, one of, if not the worst offensive lines in the entire NFL. It was awful. Absolutely terrible. Allowed more quarterback hits than any other offensive line in the NFL in the first 3 weeks of the NFL season. It was a disaster. However, as each week went by, people started getting healthier on that offensive line. Ryan Kelly had an elbow injury. He was getting healthier. Eric Fisher came back pretty early and honestly didn't look great to start off, but he's getting better, and now he's performing quite well. Quinn Nelson was put on the IR. Chris Reed came in, showed he can do good things. We had Julian Davenport for a while, starting for an injured Braden Smith. But Braden Smith, he was out forever, it feels like. And eventually, Matt Pryor took over for Julian Davenport. And then the offensive line just continued to get better and better and better. Quentin Nelson came back, and he was playing as good as what we would expect him to play. So Chris Reed took over from Mark Galinsky, started to get better, and now I think you could say this is one of the best, if not the best, offensive lines in the entire NFL. I mean, the Jets game, for example, so many holes opened up for the running backs. Absolutely dominant performance by that offensive line. That was exactly what I think we were expecting to see from this offensive line. Just a complete dominant performance week in and week out. And it's not like the Jets have the worst defensive line in the NFL. They had, I believe at the time, a top 10 defensive line. And they still did what they did to the Jets. With all that being said, absolutely dominant performance that has made me so happy because, again, we're going up against some really good teams, especially Tampa Bay. That defensive line is tough. So if this offensive line can play like they did on Thursday, watch out. It's going to be absolutely terrifying. Let's talk Jonathan Taylor because this guy has been awesome for us. Absolutely awesome. Absolutely dominant. I mean, just to tell you how dominant Jonathan Taylor has been this year, he's had a little over 70 less carries than Derrick Henry. And this is after the Jets game, too. This is not before the Jets. This is after the Jets. He's currently, I believe, 117 yards behind Derrick Henry. And he carried the ball a little over 70 times less than Derrick Henry. I mean, if he carried the ball 50 times less than Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor would probably have more yards than Derrick Henry so far. He would average more yards per carry than Derrick Henry. I mean, absolutely monster of a running back. Insane. I've loved what I see from him, and hopefully the Colts will use him like they did against the Jets. Because if they do, it's going to be really, really difficult for another team to go in there and to stop Jonathan Taylor. Also, another thing, for the most part, I like what I see from Frank Reich's play calling, and I know that seems to be controversial with some Colts fans, but I'm sorry. I think besides a few games, Frank Reich has done a really good job of play calling. For example, did a really good job against the Ravens. He did a really good job against the 49ers. He did a really good job against the Jets. Not hard, but still did a really good job against the Jets. He's been doing really good this year. There's some games where he's not the best for sure. Like, I'll give you that. Like, he hasn't been great all year when it comes to play calling. But honestly, I think his play calling has been quite good. And I think anybody who questions whether he should give up play calling, I think you're wrong in that sense. Like, who are we going to give it to? Marcus Brady? I don't think Marcus Brady could do any better than Frank Reich. And honestly, Frank Reich's been really good this year, in my opinion, when it comes to play calling. So honestly, as long as he continues to do well, I'm going to be happy because I feel like we can win a lot of games. He's just got to make the right calls because there are some situations where he will go for it on fourth down when we probably shouldn't go for it on fourth down, or he'll go for two or something like that. So I've been happy with him. I know some Colts fans haven't been the happiest with some of his play calling, but for the most part, I've been very happy with Frank Reich, and I expect Frank Reich to continue to do as well as he has been so far. Now let's get into our defensive line because this is one of the problems for our team. The defensive line is not getting enough pressure on the quarterbacks. I know we got 19 sacks. Cool. That's not enough at all. I believe, if I heard right, they're 20th in sacks. That's not good enough, especially when your secondary is not healthy. You need to get pressure on the quarterback. I don't care who it is. Put pressure on the quarterback. Force that quarterback to either throw it away or make a mistake. You have to force the quarterback to make a decision they don't necessarily want to make. So the defensive line has to get more pressure. I'm not angry at DeForest Buckner. I like DeForest Buckner. I like what he's doing. He's absolutely dominant. He's a monster. Everybody knows that. But to me, I think I don't know. We're not getting enough pressure off the edge. And I'm going to give Dio a pass because he's just coming back. And with Quiddy Pay, he's a rookie. He's also dealt with some injuries. I'm not upset about him. But everybody else, I'm not too happy with. I think when Toure is out there, he obviously can be a problem for a quarterback, for sure. But we need to get more pressure on the quarterback because that's going to be key for us to win some of these big games against like Buffalo or Arizona, Tampa Bay, the Raiders. The Patriots is another team that we're going to have to force their quarterback to make a mistake. So as long as we do that, I feel like we can win a lot of games. To go back to the positives real quick, our linebackers, Bobby Okereke and then Darius Leonard, has been playing really good. Bobby Okereke lately has been playing really good football. At the start, I wasn't too sure, but lately, Okereke has been playing really good football. And then Darius Leonard. I mean, like, there are not enough words to describe how dominant this man has been for this team this year. Absolutely dominant, just incredible, especially when it comes to forcing turnovers. Whether he's the one that's getting the ball or he's forcing the player that has the ball in their hand to have a turnover, whether it's a fumble, an interception, whatever. Like, he's been absolutely dominant. I love what I see from him. He's been worth every single penny and more. Like, he's been absolutely insane. So for me, I think the linebackers have been playing really good. More specifically, Bobby Okereke and Darius Leonard have been playing really, really good. And then, real quick, last thing I noticed, and then I'll get into what I want to see the Colts do in the second half of the year, starting with Jacksonville. What I've also noticed was, and I think everybody's noticed this, it's the biggest negative of this team. Besides Kenny Moore, Julian Blackman, when he was playing for us before his injury, and Kari Willis, when he's playing, the secondary's not doing their job. They're just not doing their job. They're doing a poor job. Xavier Rhodes, dealing with injuries. I get it. He's not playing good football right now. Rocky Sin is playing better. You know, he's playing better than Xavier Rhodes, which I don't think a lot of people would have thought coming into the year. I think most people would have expected Xavier Rhodes to be the one of those two to have the better year. But Rocky Sin has been better this year than Xavier Rhodes. It's facts. Rocky Sin is a better corner this year than Xavier Rhodes is. And I don't know, maybe it is injuries. Maybe, Xavier Rhodes will get 100% healthy and he'll go in there and he'll be the same player that we saw last year. Don't know if that's going to happen. So, for me personally, I don't think the secondary has done a good job. Yes, a lot of injuries. Absolutely. And yes, getting TJ Carey is going to be really, really big. I'm so happy to see he's coming off the IR. I don't know if he's playing this week or next week, but very happy to see TJ Carey being there. But yeah, the secondary as a whole, not really doing a good job, in my opinion. So now, with that being said, I do want to get into just what I want to see happen in the second half of the season. And we'll start with offense first, and then we'll go into the defense. First things first, I want to see Carson Wentz take what the defense gives him, right? Don't force the deep ball. Just don't force it. Take what they're giving you, even if it's a short pass. I mean, if you have Taylor wide open in front of you for like a couple yards, get it to Taylor. Let Taylor do his thing. If you have Pascal running for like a 5 to 10 yard type of play, get the Pascal. You don't always have to force it deep because I'm telling you right now, while yes, it worked against the 49ers when it came to pass interference because the 49ers are so bad when it comes to that. And yes, it worked with the Titans at times. Just doing that is not going to work. Eventually, the refs are just not going to call it. Carson Wentz needs to take what he's given. Whether it's a short pass, a medium pass, or a long pass, take what's given to you. Don't play hero ball unless you 1000% have to play hero ball. Just play smart. You don't have to force the big play on every single drive. Sometimes you can move down the field doing shorter passes. I mean, Tom Brady was a master of it, where he would just move the offense down the field by doing, passes that aren't really that deep, right? They're short or maybe they're 10 yards at the most. You don't have to force it. As long as you're moving the ball, that's what matters. So take what the defense gives you, Carson. And if you do that, I think it's going to really help, especially against some of these better opponents that we're going to be facing. Next, we need to get the run game involved more. Okay. Get it involved like we did against the Jets, where you give Taylor, 19 carries, under 20. So if you want to keep him under 20, then there you go. But still, Taylor showed how dominant he is, especially with how this offensive line has performed. Taylor is going to continue to get those opportunities to break for a big run. So, Jonathan Taylor, get him the ball about, I would say, 16 to 20 times. I would be happy with. Obviously, if he's dominating, just continue to give him the ball. But if he's not having a great game, then don't force it, right? Just let him rest, give him some time, and then let him go out there. I mean, heck, bring Marlon Mack out there. You know, I mean, you're not going to cut him, it sounds like. So bring Marlon Mack out there, give him some carries. Point being, get the run offense going, run the ball, do it well. And if you do that, the play action is going to be much better and more successful. And we know Carson Wentz is great when it comes to those fake handoffs. He's great. He fakes everybody out. So it's going to improve, your, PA type of plays, right? Your play actions, it's going to improve it if you run the ball well and if you do it effectively. And speaking of that, let's get Nyheim Hines more touches, please, whether it's in the run game or the passing game, get him more touches. Okay, you're paying him a lot of money. Okay, so use him. Okay, I mean, he's an absolute dynamic player. If he has a hole, he's going to get 10, 15 yards. He just will. He's that type of player. And he can catch the ball and do good things after catching the football. So use him in the passing game. Run the ball with him. I want to see Nyheim Hines, realistically speaking, get at least 10 touches. At least. He should be in double digits every single game. And I have a feeling they're going to use Nyheim Hines more than they did in the first half of the year. I think they will. I think after the Jets game, they see, oh, we know how we can use Hines successfully and be dominant with Hines. They're going to do it. And if they don't, I'm going to be very, very, very upset. So I want to see that. Also, I want to continue to see the offensive red zone performance get better. Okay, the offense has been doing better and better in the red zone. So I would personally like to see the offense continue to do better and better and better. In my opinion, that's what I would like to see in the red zone. Because if you can score in the red zone, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, your offense is just going to play so much better throughout the entire game. Because now you're making the defense go, well, crap. If they're getting the red zone and scoring, I mean, we can't let that happen, right? We just can't let it happen. So you're going to throw the defense off. So I would like to see them continue to get better. And they're getting better for sure. They're absolutely getting better. So I would love to see it continue to get better and better. Also, another thing, moving to the defense now. I want to see the defensive line get more pressure on quarterbacks they face. Okay? Whether it's Brady or Allen or Lawrence, I want to see more pressure put on the quarterbacks. Force the quarterback to make a bad throw. Okay? I mean, Jacksonville gave you the perfect blueprint to beat Josh Allen in that Buffalo Bill offense. Replicate something similar because I believe our defense is better than Jacksonville's. So get more pressure on the quarterbacks because if you do that, your life is going to be so much easier, especially for the secondary. And speaking of that, look, I don't care who's in there. You got to perform better. I don't care if I'm out there playing safety. Secondary has to play better with whoever is on the field. It's unacceptable to do the things that they've done and to allow the things they've done. To me, I personally think that's unacceptable. The secondary just has to play better. Don't let receivers beat you. Don't let receivers get wide open. Stay on them. Okay? Because if you can stay on the receiver, you're going to force the quarterback to keep the ball in his hand a little longer, which means the defense is going to be able to get to the quarterback. So just don't let them get open. Don't do it. Okay? Eberflus has to get that in their head. Do not let it happen. Our run defense has been great. Our pass defense, not so much. And it's got to improve, and it's got to improve with the secondary. And that is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new or if you haven't already, I would greatly appreciate if you click that subscribe button. Also, click the bell icon. That way you're notified whenever I go live or upload a video. If you like this video, click the like button. Leave your thoughts down below. My Twitter is in the description down below. Make sure you click the link so you can go to my Twitter and follow me there. So thank you very much for watching. I've been Matt, Bleed Blue, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like it, make sure you watch one of these other two videos. They're cool. Also, if you're new, please click the subscribe button as well as the bell icon. I greatly appreciate your support.